and call this meeting to order. Dennis, can you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Richard. Here. Adrian. Here. Juanita. Here. Ernie. Here. Quorum. Approval of minutes from public hearing held on April 2nd, 2019.
Make a motion for the minutes of the public hearing held on April 2nd.
I second that.
Okay, a motion by Adrian, a second by Juanita. Roll call, Richard.
Four.
Adrian.
Four.
Juanita.
Four.
Ernie. Four. Okay, approval of minutes from regular meeting held on April 2nd, 2019.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from our regular meeting held on April 2nd, 2019.
I'll second it.
Okay, a motion by Richard, a second by Adrian to approve minutes from regular meeting held on April 2nd, 2019. Roll call, Richard.
Four.
Adrian. Four. Juanita. Four. Ernie. Four. Approval of tonight's agenda for April 16th, 2019.
Make a motion to approve the agenda for April 16th, 2019.
I second.
Okay, a motion by Adrian, a second by Juanita. Roll call, Richard.
Four.
Adrian. Four. Juanita.
Four.
Ernie. Four. Motion passes. Approval of the voucher list for the month of March 2019.
I'll make approval of the voucher list for the month of March 2019.
Second.
A motion by Ernie, a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard.
Four.
Adrian. Four. Juanita. Four. Ernie. Four. All right, motion passes. No old business at this time. New business, approval to purchase SCBA BA units. The fire department's asking for approval to utilize their fire protection funds to procure 2 SCBA units. Assistant Chief Terry Archuleta. And I'll give it to you guys tonight. Let's go. So it is a little steep, but you guys have to spend a certain amount of money by June, correct? So they decided on what they really wanted or needed, and this is what they came up with. So for those that do not know, they want 2 Draeger SCBA PSS 5000, 7,000 horsepower with 4,500 PSI, and 2 spare bottles of the 45,000 PSI. That's like there. Total amount is $11,345. Very.
Sorry. We have old ones, so these ones will be nice and they'll last longer. The other ones last 10, 15 minutes at max if you're not bringing them hard. And these ones will last like 45 minutes. So that's a big difference. And it helps.
And they have the money. And they have to waste it. Not waste it, but utilize it.
So you guys are just gonna be replacing your...
Yeah,
old
little by
Draeger?
little though, because they're very expensive, so you can only do a couple at a
for your
time.
year?
Yeah, 'cause we don't want to spend all the money and then we'll have no money in our account for
Right.
breakdowns or whatever, so.
Makes sense.
You guys have any, how many total?
SCBA now? Oh gosh,
A lot.
yeah, like 20 something, I guess.
What do you do with the old one?
I think Philip said he's gonna hand them down to another department that might be needing some that's, and they can use them.
What are they? SCBA?
Yeah, they're self-containing breathing masks. It's what you wear when you go to fires or on your own breathing and heal the smoke.
I hate to get a visual picture of it.
Any more questions? No motion?
Make a motion to approve the purchase of SCBA units.
I'll second it.
A motion by Adrian, a second by Ernie. Roll call, Richard?
Four.
Adrian? 4. Juanita? 4. Ernie?
4.
Approved.
Thank you.
Approval to purchase a set of firefighter gear. The fire department is asking for approval to utilize their fire protection funds to procure a set of firefighter gear.
So that runs about 1,600 for one set.
You got somebody in mind, because they always, they come in, obviously they come in different sizes, right? Bigger
Yeah.
guys, smaller guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Philip wants to give it to this time, but, he tries to give it to the ones that go on the most, dedicated call, that's the one who uses it. And I'm sure we do have the one that don't have new gear, it's really, it's old, very, I don't know, for the safety standards.
And this is just one set, like one set.
It's out of their budget, right?
I make a motion to approve to purchase a set of fiber gear.
Second it.
I have a motion by Juanita, a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard?
Four.
Adrian?
4.
Ernie?
4.
Juanita? 4. Sorry, going back in time.
I was 4 before her, though.
Approval to procure fire hose and ladder testing. Fire department is asking for approval to utilize their fire protection funds to procure fire hose and ladder testing. The testing company is not available for their regularly scheduled test in October, and their only availability is this May. Any questions? This is a yearly.
I'm not sure if I said he gave it to you guys.
Yeah, this is an annual thing, but they're not, they typically do it in October, but they're not available in
There's
October.
no cost.
Oh, the cost,
I don't remember.
3,000, 4,000-ish?
Hit me for 5, I'm not.
5? Yeah, and it's,
Required.
yeah, it's required, and it keeps our ISO rating.
And it comes out of their funds.
Yes, oh yeah, everything comes out of the funds.
Make sure our hoses are, plus, when call our ladder, all works, take the heat.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the approval to purchase fire hose and ladder testing equipment.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Ernie, a second by Adrian. Roll call, Richard?
Four.
Adrian?
4.
Juanita? 4. Ernie?
4.
Terry?
Thank you, guys.
Any more?
No, she's not, but I think probably on the next.
Okay. Approval to host a beer and wine event.
4. Sorry.
iCreate is requesting approval to host a beer and wine garden for their annual fundraiser on June 15th, 2019 from 4 to 7 p.m.
Yeah, this is their annual event that they hosted, I want to say 2 years in a row now. So they're just asking for approval so they can go ahead and host them again.
And they usually pay for security to our police department, and they pay for that.
Yeah, and it's hosted at the back of the Manzano Arts Council building, so it's kind of contained area. You can't, if there's any ruckus, they can't jump over the fence, they have to go through the building. And there's never been any issues in the past. So you can't go ahead.
We got a new chief, doesn't know yet.
We'll give you a ride home.
I make a motion to approve the approval to host a beer and wine event.
Second it.
We have a motion by Adrian, a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard?
Four.
Adrian? 4. Juanita?
4.
Ernie? 4. Motion passes. Approval to consolidate all town bank accounts into a single account. So, we got the new Info 10 software that you guys approved and that we're about to launch, get live. And so what we used to do in the past is, since everything was in Excel, and we used to have separate bank accounts. So gas would have its bank account, general would have its bank account, water would have its bank account, and I want to say there's one more,
Employees.
employee, payroll. Would have a separate bank account. So And the reason for this was because we kept the funds separate physically to monitor it better through Excel. The new software does all that for us. So there's no longer a need to separate accounts like we used to because it obviously is the type of software that can separate it all on its own. So what I'm wanting to do is to, like right now, for instance, how it would help us out is, right now, in order for payroll to even happen, she cuts the checks, and then we have to go transfer the money from general, from gas, from water, and then put it into the payroll account, so that way payroll checks can go out. So it's just like a big mess. So now that we have the software sufficient enough to handle this type of banking, then we want to consolidate it all into one. So we would just have one account. All checks would come out of it, whether it's gas, police, water, anything. It would all be in one. So we would just have one giant account.
And it wouldn't go live until June 1st, July 1st.
Auditors on board.
Way easier for him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Way easy. Obviously is recommending it.
You do that to school, right?
Well, we're about to.
Oh,
We go live July 1st. Well, hopefully, it has to be approved by the school board.
and it's actually more accurate tracking because in our payroll account, we had a floating about $17,000 that we didn't really realize we had. We check it, we knew it was there, but it wasn't being included in the audit until this past year. And so that was $17,000 of quote unquote lost money that could have been accounted for if we had it all pooled into one account. So this will make tracking and audits much easier and accountability, increase our accountability.
And eventually, are they gonna go direct deposit?
Yes, that's,
And
yes.
in fact, we're gonna make it
So we're
mandatory.
gonna do, well, yeah, maybe. We wanna go direct deposit, I mean, I don't know, some people, I mean, if they don't have a bank account, you can't really make them, but, we wanna try to encourage people to get direct deposit. It's much easier, they get it the night of, so if they're at the club at midnight, they have the money.
Or why can't take a check, direct deposit?
Say that again?
Or why can't take a check, direct deposit?
There you go.
Makes sense.
That's an easy one. For any questions, then I'll make a motion. Motion to approve consolidate all town bank accounts into a single account.
Second.
Yeah, a motion by Ernie, a second by Juanita, roll call, Richard?
Or,
Adrian? Four. Juanita? Ernie?
Four.
Right, motion passes. Approval of resolution 2019-13, Open Meetings Act 2019, with the tragic passing of Jerry Lisk and the closure of Jerry's Ancient Cities Cafe. We would like approval to add Mount Air Medsonmore to the list of the 6 official polling sites, posting sites, not polling sites, sorry, posting sites, and we would not post obviously at the Ancient Cities anymore until, if hopefully everyone's hoping that it reopens. So the 6 would be the bank, co-op, city hall, town hall.
Not the bank.
Huh?
Not the bank.
Oh, not the bank, sorry. Town hall, post office, Lee Street Market, Medsonmore, Napa, and Alpine Alley. Are the 6.
I'll make a motion of approval of resolution 2019-13, Open Meetings Act 2019.
I'll second that.
A motion by Ernie, a second by Adrian, roll call, Richard?
or,
Adrian? 4. Juanita? 4. Ernie? 4. Motion passes. Approval to hire police officer, we're going into executive session, so I would like a motion to table this item until after executive.
I make a motion, we table it until after the executive.
second,
We have a motion by Juanita, a second by Richard. Roll call, Richard?
or,
Adrian? 4. Juanita? 4. Ernie?
4.
All right, item 15 has been tabled. All right, department head reports, police department.
Gotta get my glasses on. Good evening, everybody. Nice weather that we're having. Works out. All right. What I had done before I do my crime report is I'd given council a new mission statement and values for the Mount Airy Police Department. This is in effect, what it's going to be is our mission to the community as to what we're going to do, what we're responsible for and accountable for. And I'm just going to give you a summary of the mission statement, and then council, at their pleasure, they can, if they have any questions or anything. This is pretty much standard with all police departments. You have to have a mission statement in order to know that the community and the services that we are providing for the community work at its best and with the less cost. And that's always been my objective since I've been here, is to minimize costs in any areas on operations, whether we have to get equipment or anything like that. I've always tried to get the best deal, which I've been very fortunate that we've gotten some really good deals on equipment. So in keeping that in line with the town budget and our budget, things get tight every once in a while. We try to achieve that goal. Pretty much the mission statement is as follows. We, the members of the Mount Airy Police Department, are committed to excellence in law enforcement and are dedicated to the people, traditions, and diversity of our town. In order to protect life and property, prevent crime, and reduce the fear of crime, we will provide service with understanding, respond with compassion, performance with integrity, and law enforcement with a vision. When I got hired on, I put together a 5-year plan of goals that I needed to accomplish in this position as your chief. In the 6 months that I've been employed here, I've reached those objectives. And they're continuing on a 5-year plan that I projected as to where we want to be in 5 years. That is to provide that professional police department that the mayor and the council hired me to do. And we've been very fortunate with their support and going out to the community and reaching out to the community that our plans are working and our objectives are being fulfilled. Crime has gone down in this town drastically since I've been here. As you all know, a lot of people have gone to jail that needed to go to jail. We did the operations with the state police and Torrance County Sheriffs. We picked up a lot of individuals, and they're still in custody, some of them, and some of them are going back actually. Unfortunately, the laws, you get arrested, they gotta let you out when you post your bail. That's a given. But working with the district attorney's office and the courts, the whole aspect of how we're dealing with it is working better. We're part of a partnership with the DA's office, we're in partnership with the district court, so therefore they're gonna be helping us even more to address our needs. We have a problem here in Mount Airy, the drug problem. We already got into partnership, as I stated in the last meeting, that we're in partnership with the Torrance County Drug and Abuse Program, where we're actually gonna help these individuals that get in trouble and have a drug problem. Instead of just sending them to jail, we're gonna reverse it and send them to treatment. So that's a good thing. Now, there's 2 things that are going on, I don't know if you've known, but we're thinking of opening up the old CCA prison, turning that into, the state is looking into it, and turning that into a statewide drug treatment center. If that happens, we're gonna get everybody from all over the state up there in Estancia, which is gonna help the infrastructure here by creating jobs. ICE has put in a bid to bring in the migrants that are being brought in, and there's no place to put them. They're thinking of leasing out CCA under that, so there's 2 things that are working right now, and then we just gotta figure out, what's happening. All of this comes together in our mission statement. We're here to provide a service to the community by respecting you, by enforcing the law and making this community safer. And And I think those objectives have been met. I've been talking to a lot of people here, and they're very happy with what we've been doing, and we're gonna continue doing that. As whatever it takes, however long it takes, as long as we have the commitment by the community, our mission and our values are gonna reflect that. So what I included in our statement of values, when you bring all this together, one of the commitments is managing our resources here. And I think I've done that by trying to get the bit of possible. Sometimes it's expensive, but that's just the way it is. By maximizing our costs and bringing everything down, it's better for the town. That way we don't have to spend needless money for equipment that we can get somewhere else from another vendor that provides the same service. Another value is our priority is the protection of your life. These officers go out there and they're risking their lives for you. And that, we don't have an issue. We know the risk that we took when we took the oath of police officers. We know that, and we're good with that. That's what police officers do. But we want the community to know that we're there to protect you first. We're not worried about ours, we're worried about you. To make sure that you're safe in case something happens in your home, burglaries, domestic violence. We're gonna take that enforcement action to protect everybody that is part of that. Our conduct. I've gotten a couple of different opinions from different townspeople on conduct where they've seen a big change in the conduct of the officers, more professional, more friendlier, and we're out there to serve you. That is our primary mission, is our service to the community. I know it's gotten a little bit, sometimes people will complain and say that, well, the cops are harassed. No, we're not. We're enforcing the law. Because when we enforce the law, we get compliance, and it brings the crime rate down. And that goes along the points of traffic. Traffic actually brings crime down. And you guys have been noticing the guys working out there, and a lot of activity with the state police coming down and the sheriffs. They're helping us, therefore we're helping them at the same time. And by enforcing the laws, we've generated a lot of money for the municipal court. I think the last one, Dennis, was
Yeah,
somewhere
I was
over.
gonna do that in my report, but since we're there, we brought in year-to-date $3,149, and just in the month of February, $784. But in the month of March, which I'll report at the next meeting, I already actually ran the numbers, we brought around $2,000 just in the month of March in penalty assessments.
Penalty assessments. No court, they're just paying them out, saying, we don't wanna argue. You guys got us clean and legit, we're gonna pay the fines.
This is that's the actual, this is the amount that, compared to last year during the same time, it was zero.
So we're out there. So if you see us out there, say hi, just watch your speed. Another one is crime prevention. That's our principal goal. Us doing a heavy patrol, which you've noticed. You see the black and whites out there running at night with their lights on. That's crime prevention. Is to reduce and getting off the criminals off the street and making your home safe. When you come out, your car's there. When you leave your house, you can rest assured that your house is going to be watched. And that's our main objective, is the crime prevention. Another one is we'll treat all members of the public with respect and dignity by maintaining the highest levels of integrity and professionalism in our actions. All my officers are accountable for what they do, not only civilly, but criminally. If they do something out there that is wrong, that is brought to my attention, I have no problem with doing discipline. That is the commitment that I made with the mayor and this town, that accountability, including the police, is always a 24/7 commitment to the community at all times. If they violate that, they're looking at not only a lawsuit, dismissal of this job, but they also can look at criminal action brought against them for violating the people's rights. And that is very, very strong with me. I believe in that. And I think these officers now, it's taken me a while to get these officers, and I think I made the right decisions because they've been doing very, very well. And I hope to progress on that. The last one, item number 5, is that the employees are also assets to this agency. Therefore, they take on the responsibility and we support their professional development. I've given them these officers training that they've never had in the last 6 months, and all for free. I've been able to go out, reach out to agencies to come here, do training, and give these officers the training they need in order to do the job that you all require them to do. They're up to date on their laws, they're up to date in their procedures, so everything they do out there, we can defend that. If it ever went to a civil court, we can defend our actions because they're certified and they're also trained. We also care about the quality of life in the town, and we believe that our services must answer those needs. And those are the values in the synopsis and the mission statement of Mountain Air Police Department. And I think this is a good time that, based on the productivity that you've seen in our enforcement and just the change in itself that is brought to this community, I think that we've accomplished our objectives and goals. Any questions? If the public wants a copy of this, I can make you copies, come by the station, I'm more than free to share it with you. These are our statements to you and our mission.
And we did post this on the website, so if you go to the PD page on our website, this is all on there.
So we're very open, transparent, we got nothing to hide. All right. With that said, on the crime report for this period, we responded as the weather's getting warmer, we're increasing in calls for service. We're at 24 calls just in this last period, which includes animal control. Officers have issued approximately over 21 citations for the second part of this month. Officer Torres, 7 citations. Officer Lidward, 10. Martinez, 3. Steve Bernauer, our ACO, 1 citation. All of them have resulted in penalty assessment, as Dennis stated. People are paying it, they're not challenging. We've had 1 burglary in this past time frame, no leads, and we responded to over 12 service calls, non-criminal. That can be anything. Person walking down the street, something suspicious. That's what I mean by other calls for service that don't require enforcement action. We had a missing person that was reported to us. We put that individual in the New Mexico Department of Public Safety clearinghouse. That's where all missing persons go. We found the person. He doesn't want to come back. We found him in Albuquerque. He doesn't want to come back to Mountain Air. Case closed. Administrative report. Animal control reported 1 impound, 1 adoption, 6 complaints of animals running at large, which happens all the time, and 1 citation issued for a violation, and 1 code enforcement property-related enforcement. We have been getting really good compliance with the owners here in Mountain Air, and the owners you can find on the code enforcement for abatement. So they've been cooperating with us. So they want to fix their property up, they want to get things going without going through the full route of bringing it here to the council for abatement. So that's a good thing. So everybody's cooperating, and I'm really happy with that. Just this weekend, all the officers, including with the fire department, we completed the U.S. Department of Energy Merit Hazmat course for first responders. It was an excellent course, free of charge. We didn't have to pay anything for that. And it gives us a really good understanding of, because in this town, where we're located, through the trains, there is a lot of hazmat material that passes through here. Nuclear, low fusion, high hazmat. With this training, we're able to identify and respond and know how to respond. If something happens, we will be the first ones that are going to respond to contain that scene, along with BNSF and DOE if they're part of that shipment and all. So this brings everybody working together and understanding what needs to be done to protect this community. So it's very, very good training. I also had a meeting over the last week with the residents of Deer Canyon. They invited me up there for a meeting with them, and I sat with them and talked about our objectives and what we can both do as both communities. Donna and her husband were there and other people, and you'd be surprised on the support that they give this town, and they want this town to succeed, and all of us working together as a community. So I think that was a very important situation. I've never been up there, they're all nice. It's a fortress, you can't get in, but we got codes now. So if we have to go, we will respond to the system, only because it's in the county, but under the mutual aid agreement, since we're the nearest law enforcement agency, we would respond and then have the sheriffs come in and either take over or depending on the situation. But that's what we do for the surrounding communities and working with the sheriff's department and as under mutual aid. So it was a very good thing. Yes, ma'am.
It was an excellent meeting. It really, really was.
Well, thank
Everybody
you.
was happy to meet you and welcome you in and to say, okay, now I know who this guy is.
Okay, now we have to have beer and wine, right? We're gonna have that. Beer and wine party over there, Deer Canyon. Okay. I didn't put on this report, but I just wanted to give you a personal update. I gotta go to Farmington tomorrow for a meeting in regards to update on what they call the UCR index. Anytime we make reports here, they get reported to the FBI. That's called the Uniform Crime Reporting Index. Well, they're changing that, and they're moving it to what they call NIGES, where we have to comply with it, because it's required. So I gotta go up there for one day, make a long trip, and get certified if you want, and understand the new system. So therefore, when I'm making the reports here, and reporting them to DPS and the FBI, I know what I'm talking about. It's really long and stuff, but it's one of those mandatory courses. I was also invited, fully paid for scholarship to the, I don't know if you're all familiar with the Advocacy in Action Group. It's a partnership of law enforcement and social services in New Mexico that they advocate a partnership with law enforcement on how to handle domestic violence, drug abuse, and homeless, mentally disturbed people. It's a good course, and they're bringing it into Albuquerque. I think it's next week or a week. So they're going to bring in all these resources that you can get. So it's a really, really good deal for us. I've also been nominated. I'm a member of the New Mexico Chiefs of Police Association, and I've been nominated to run for the office for president for the whole state under the municipal league. And so I'm going to go to a meeting, a one-day meeting, and let's see if they vote it in. If it does, it'll put this town on the map, because we're going to bring the municipal league and the mayor and Dennis know about it, because they have to go through training. It's a real big thing for this town. So if they elect me, we got representation from here. Because it's always given to the big agencies, because they're the chiefs. Well, I'm gonna try to beat that. Wish me luck on that one. Last thing, Mayor, I'm gonna tell you, I got a hold of state police and the Albuquerque Police Department on the honor guard. And it looks like they both might come through on their schedule. We have honor guard ceremonies for the dedication of Officer Sandlin when we do our dedication. That would be a really nice thing. You gotta see these guys. They do a beautiful job on memorial services. So, and they're not gonna cost us nothing. They're gonna come down and do it for us because we've asked them. We're working with state police and the other agencies, so they're very well aware of us and what we're trying to do for our community. So hopefully they have the officers that can, they're always requested all over the state, and it'll be a nice ceremony. It really will be. So other than that, that's all I got for today. If there's any questions that I can answer on anything that I spoke, I know I kind of ran through it real quick, but we're looking good for Mount Air. Everybody knows who we are now, thanks to the council and to our efforts. And they're finally realizing that we do exist and we are professionals. And that's the way we want to roll with that one.
Real quick, I just want to add, we do have the dedication in almost 3 weeks now, May the 4th, Saturday, 12 p.m. We are hoping to have it done, but I just want to let you guys know, we have snow. We weren't expecting. So the weather's kind of been like not on our good side. So we still think we can make it with the stucco and with the lettering and all that kind of stuff, but I just want you guys to know, I mean, if the weather continues to go snow, sunny, yeah, there's really not much that we can do. I mean, we can't battle against nature, but we have the Secretary of DPS coming.
Yes.
He's going to be a representative of the governor's office. We have a representative from Martin Heinrich's office, Senator Martin Heinrich's office, a representative from Congresswoman Deb Haaland's office, New Mexico State Police, Torrance County Sheriff's, our Torrance County Commissioner Javier is going to be here, our New Mexico House District 50 Representative Matthew McQueen is going to be here. The family of Steve Sandlin is going to be here. It's going to be really, really nice. So if you can attend, please do. It is being catered by the Beach Street Market and by the Last Chance Shack. We wanted to do local so that we can support local businesses. So yeah, it should be really, really good event. March 4th, 12 p.m. May 4th. Yeah. Perfect. Public Works.
Well, beginning date, March 25th, ending date, April 5th. Workers on call, me and Vince, meters, not this month yet. Water palms, 0, gas lines, palms, 0, road service, 2 potholes, Ripley, Bill Street, and Cedardale, J.W. Shaw. Sewer plant service, the 25th, 27th, 29th, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th. Sewer palms at 2, 3rd Street and Sunset and Flores Avenue. Injection of gas, 0, equipment service, dump truck, backhoe, grader, and our vehicles. And work completed, we did a hot tap at the high school. Worked at our Cooper wells, knocked down the house that belonged to the town across the track. Installed a new sewer tap on Cedar behind Ted Oaks' house. And we've got our wells at Cooper running.
We've been helping with the demolition as well here. As you guys know, the building is gone. Once that's, we've got to obviously dig up the cement slab, but hopefully that's going to be parking.
Does need anything, Daniel? Short on anything?
So what's going on with the trucks? Yeah, that's gonna be my report. I talked to the guy and, let's see, maybe I didn't put in my report. Anyways, one truck is already down there and it's getting all packaged up, and the other truck is still at the manufacturer getting equipped. I had no clue why they didn't order both trucks at the exact same, or deliver both trucks at the exact same time, but it's just the way it went.
So would you have to wait to get both at the same time, or?
No, that was right?
They didn't say they would give us one, but I think we can go down there and get it. Once it went off.
Can't make it one.
Ready, what?
Well, they're packaging it up.
Yeah, the packaging, but that was 2 weeks ago when I asked them, so I haven't asked them since.
And
2
that
weeks.
package includes what, just the
Like the
toolboxes, right?
toolboxes,
All everything, right? And we got it from what dealership?
Oh, the one in Belen, or this one is.
Malloy, whatever they are.
Yeah, we got on a statewide contract. Also, we, last meeting, we talked about getting a pressure washer. we went ahead and pulled the trigger and ordered it, we got it.
4,000 PSI, right?
Yeah. No, 4,000 gallons per minute. How many PSI, 32?
Yeah,
100? And then say it peels the paint off the truck.
Moving close.
We're trying to
Don't
take
take the new
the,
police cars over there.
Hand wash.
we're trying to take the paint off the road, but we might end up without no road.
Yeah.
That's pretty powerful.
Can we call in the truck tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hey, kind of on this voucher list, I just noticed a bunch of tire repair. Do you guys need new tires for those trucks, or what's going on?
I know his truck needs tires.
I think I saw that one time, so,
Yeah.
I mean, why can't we get them, is there a reason why I can't do it, or?
No, we just talked about it right before the meeting, we're just gonna go over it. Tomorrow we'll place the order.
And those two are the ones that we're gonna keep? Besides the new ones?
Yeah.
The one you
But
get parts for.
we're still keeping the two
The
Fords,
Ranger?
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Even though when we get the new truck.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna not retire, but kind
Well,
of
the other one's
keep your
for
Ford off to the
pipeline,
side for the
yeah.
pipeline.
Can you think on that Grand Career Estates, you could live up that elm, I mean, it's really getting in the way there.
How about the road?
Well, I mean, the road is, dude, I don't know if we could reach out to the county or not, or even to your county commissioner and see if we could, and see if we could kind of do something with the roads.
That's county, that's ours.
That's ours.
I know, but, I mean, they helped us last time, so. Trade work or whatever, I mean, like, I mean, it's always, last time we did water for work, so. Doesn't hurt to ask, I guess.
Yeah.
At least the one that has the most houses there. You know, right at the entrance, at the entrance there.
Yeah, there's several roads that, I mean, the guys, they're busy, so it doesn't, I mean, they'll need help, and then they can't do all the roads.
Yeah, that's something I've been talking with Popeye about a little bit, is like, what equipment do we need that we can start actually doing our own roads? I mean, I know we've got a lot of equipment, but I'm not sure if we have everything.
We have the material, but we need a screen to, then will be
Sift.
older to sift the dirt, you know? That's if you have wooden carryovers.
How would we get that? Is that something we make, or is that something we buy, or?
Can make it.
County got one with the Lendas? Or we asked?
You can talk to the county, maybe the county has an old one,
Yeah.
or maybe, depending, you know,
Yeah. The crusher?
you know,
Or Stevie?
maybe Steve make us one.
Or his uncle has one maybe? Or brother, whatever he
You
is.
could probably make one, just time, you want no time.
So Easter falls on Sunday, we're having the Easter event, there with the Easter egg hunt and all that. I was gonna have the, Public Works and myself and Dennis go and put up the tent on Friday, but we only work half a day on Friday. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but now you do. So I was kind of wondering if it's okay if I approve overtime for them and, see if any of them can help on Saturday. And we'll just go out there Saturday afternoon, 2 hours and put that thing up. Last time we put it up, actually probably took them an hour, right? It wasn't too.
It takes me and one other person an hour to put up. So we'll go
Which
real
one is
quick
it?
with
The
the
big
one.
one, no, the new one.
The new one?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought I didn't know that.
no, the new one.
That thing's taking, does it stake in the ground for you?
Yeah,
I was
I
having
stayed over there
this-
for how many days? Last time it stayed like 4 days almost.
That'd probably just be my only concern, if we get those red flags in. when we need.
Oh, we can also put 50-gallon barrels in.
Yeah, well, the new tents, the way it's designed, it deflects the wind really nice. And if it comes down, it's just two poles that can come down. Versus the other one, it's a whole structure and it gets all twisted up and banged up if the wind caught it.
Those are using
Yeah, the new one just has two poles going up and it's taped in.
We didn't spend $1,500 to keep it in the shed.
So do we need to approve that for 10 now, or?
No, I just need your blessing. I mean, really, it's not gonna be over $1,500, so, yeah, just as long as you guys are all right with that. And then I'll talk to them, I'll come back to them Friday. Perfect. Any other questions?
When is the auction?
Yeah, hold on. I sent all the paperwork in, so we should get the word in the next 6 weeks or something like that.
That's what we're going. All right, EMS and fire. Carol, how many fire is?
Hello again. On the fire side, luckily we've had no fire calls. Just a few EMS assistants, that's it on that. I do know on the EMS side, Carol has talked at the last meeting and trying to see, because we got that, the app that you guys helped us get to study for national tests. She just went on us to see what she could do to help us. 5 of us. Hopefully, we can continue to study, hopefully pass. It's hard though. It's not an easy test, but she's really good. I know the town's been getting upset on the calls and we've been, you go somewhere, they'll tell you, you're not run, they get pretty upset with us, but, right now we can't, even though we have our, like, temporary license, we're still not, we can't run without an EMT, a full license. So, we're trying. We're trying to
And we
hopefully
did get the
next-
variance from PERC, so, and that was just recent, I just called 2 days ago. So, really it was supposed to be 2 EMTs and a driver, or at least 2 EMTs and 1 could be a driver, right, to run. But right now, we have a variance up to 1 year. We can get that extended if we're not up to, at the time. But basically, we can run with 1 EMT and 1 driver. So, it does help, but again,
Kerry, I just want to tell you, to you and all you guys' crew, that I think you guys are doing good. And you guys are trying to do, you guys are doing the best what you do, with the resources you have. So don't listen to anybody, let them complain, there's always somebody who's gonna complain.
Yeah.
But you know what, you guys are doing good, so. And if anybody's complaining or have a concern, then they should join,
That's what we always
So,
tell her, welcome to come.
I wanna give you guys props and say, you know what, just keep up your head and brush them off,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I get, I get people's frustrations. It is a scary situation. Nobody wants to call and we don't get a response. But unfortunately, we knew. This is something that we said was going to be rocky for a while because we don't have everything in place. Now, there is stuff that's happening. And like the morning of that complaint, that morning I approved for people to get trained in Santa Fe at the College of Santa Fe, I believe it is. I know that a couple are taking that opportunity this summer. Things are happening. Me and Chief just had a meeting last Tuesday, I believe, or last Wednesday on EMS stuff. Things are happening. It's just unfortunately, we only can do what we can do.
And it's not quick.
Right, and it's not, it's time and money. And unfortunately, we have limited resources in both. So, you guys are doing great. The county's stepping up. Last I heard, it's a couple months away from them opening up their EMS unit in Willard, which will be huge. That's gonna really drop down things, and it's one that takes us all the way to Albuquerque. We need it. It's not one that's just gonna be superior, right? So that's happening. We're very, I don't wanna jinx us, but I think that we're pretty high up there on the ambulance grant that Carol wrote. Carol's been doing this all in her personal time, no compensation. And things are happening. So I just want people to be aware that things are happening. We're trying, what we can do. Unfortunately, if I could snap my fingers and make it happen, trust me, I'd be snapping all day long, but we can't.
And we know that.
Yeah. But things are happening, and Chief was telling me, his crew's ready to be first responders too, as far as, EMS police, where they can respond, and there's always the option to call in the bird as well.
Yeah.
We always have that option, so if the police get there and it's a critical situation, they call dispatch and they dispatch a bird. Simple as that.
And usually when it's like, we get the tone out, and it's really critical, whether we have, and even if it's a lot more fire, Depending on the call, we kind of just, if it's really critical, whoever's, if it's a third time, we'll still go POV to wherever. It just takes us a little bit longer.
Right. And I don't like throwing anyone on the bus, and I don't want to throw anyone on the bus, but there is also issues that we're trying to deal with dispatch as well. All the towns agree. I've had discussions with the mayor of Estancia and the mayor of Moriarty. They have a high turnover rate at the dispatch center. And then also, some of the tone outs that they do are just very generic. 30-year-old man with general sickness. Well, what's general sickness? I mean, do I have the flu? Did I break a leg? Am I having a heart attack? I mean, that's very, very, when you call 911, you guys know. You guys are sitting there answering question after question after question after question. They need to give us more information, so that way we know if it's a stubbed toe. I mean, I'm not saying that we wouldn't respond, but if it's a heart attack, that's like major. So there's issues there, and we're hoping the county's working on that as well. So the county's understanding that there's an issue, they're working on it, we're doing the best that we can. We're approving funds to be used for EMS. I mean, it's just really time right now. That's our only enemy, but it's happening, that's all I can say. But I appreciate you guys, and I know I was told every time we complain you have to thank everybody, and I do, because I don't want you guys to be discouraged. You guys are doing so much stuff, and it frustrates me when people put you guys down, because if they couldn't, they're not doing it. If they were doing it and complaining, that would be different, but you guys have lives, you have children, you have, school stuff to go to, you have jobs, you guys have everything, and you guys put all that on the side to respond to calls, and it just really frustrates me when people don't see that. And so I do thank you guys as much as I can, because I really appreciate what you guys do. I really do.
And that's what gets me, because they put everything on Facebook, and it makes it sound like we as a council are not doing it. And me as a sitting council, I want all the things that we can get, because you guys can be visiting my house because I have congestive heart failure. And then just last week, my sister has congestive heart failure. And they make it sound just because it's us, you guys are gonna jump over there because I'm a council person or any of the others. But they should come to the meetings and find out what's happening, not hearing it like, don't get from everybody else, but they don't sit here and listen. They need to come and see what's actually done, not that we're just sitting here doing nothing.
And on those calls, what usually, like you said, 99% are general sickness. When it is like a heart issue, they will, sometimes depending on the dispatcher, they can say possible heart attack. And then that's when we see who's available to really get out there. But to 99%, it's hard because of general sickness, and you're somewhere, you're like, usually we get a lot of EMS evals, people just have little cuts,
And that's one of the things that the county and Superior itself actually was the one that recommended this, was we need to have an educational, what do you call it, for the people, like an educational thing where they understand, some minor cuts, you don't need to call an ambulance for that. Some people call an ambulance to get their blood pressure checked. You can't do that, because those are resources. If they come over here to check your blood pressure and someone's dying of a heart attack in Moriarty, you're taking away that resource. And vice versa, if they're going to check someone in Moriarty for blood pressure and someone over here is actually, with a heart attack, those are major things. So we really need to put an educational thing out there for people to know when to call 911 and when to call, or call the nurses advice line that the state has, or just different things. So there's a lot of things that we can do and that we're gonna do, but it takes time.
And like Peter said, they come to check and you guys get all your people together. When you check their blood pressure, stuff their toe, whatever, it's a patient refusal. Where they stub their toe at 3 o'clock, but they wait until 6 or 7 when the clinic's closed to go see if you have a broken toe or whatever. There are a lot of patient refusals.
So we'll get that
There's a
out.
lot also too, in Superior, was probably a lot of them, or luckily, like I said, the crime rate for drugs is kind of going down, but we do get a lot of calls. I guess people wanting to ride to Albuquerque, And we like, we kinda already know the people that need the rides to go pick up or to pick up the drugs. So that's kinda hard, and then the superiors are getting like upset when they see the person and they know who it is and they're getting frustrated. So sometimes they take their time, they're not in a rush, and sometimes you need them to really, that's been difficult.
They need a ride to go to the club or something, huh?
Oh, yeah. Usually they go
Or
get some more.
casino or
And do
something.
you have a lot of, reviews,
Oh, yeah.
like the same?
Well, that's where now we're hearing like the addresses and we're kind of knowing who it is. And if it's basically the same thing, we know, oh, they just need a ride, so we will go. If we're available, we still will, they just need a ride. But if it's something different, the call's a little different, sometimes it is general sickness, so it's hard to know when.
We're still a ways out. I mean, it's not gonna be something that's gonna be next month. It's a ways out, but.
But people always blame it on the council and them and bunch of mitote, like Juanita said, bunch of mitote in his Facebook. They should come to the meeting and see what's going on.
You know, we tell people that all the time, to make it your business.
Hey, Carrie, on those, when they turn you out, how do you find you the location? Because a lot of times they put that 20 hours to the bag, so a lot of times I'm calling dispatch and I'm like, oh, is that east of Mount Air, west of Mount Air?
We always have to, when we get there, we usually call on our personal cell phone. So, and then we'll talk to dispatch and then they'll give us more clear directions, but we don't.
So you guys gotta call every time too.
Yeah, so we want to make sure someone takes their cell phone because we have to call. And we mostly, even on calls, we'll use our personal cell to communicate because even if you go on radio, they sometimes can't hear you. So if people don't hear, when we go on call, they don't hear anything, it's because we're just calling in.
So eventually, we may wanna get them radios, once we get everything well, I mean, you know, once
Yeah.
everything's online and we're responding to more and stuff, we can look into getting them radios. I think they need one. I mean, they really probably need what, 2 or 3?
And
I mean,
even one would be.
Just for inside the helmet.
Here.
They have some, but they're the older ones, they're not the ones that we got, these, they're not the new
And
ones.
next you will get.
Or
nothing
EMS,
real good.
They're the EMS,
for the fire side does.
yes, but they're 2 separate different things.
Yeah. How's that going on? Is it, it's not gonna be on this?
Yeah.
Or next,
No, we're still having discussions.
we're gonna, was there anything else optional that is gonna be at this meeting or for the fire?
I never got a list,
I think Phil, he didn't talk to you on that one?
no.
Okay, he was gonna talk to you. We really didn't have a lot of it that we did have, it was really old, with a lot of just junk. He said that we do have the plow, but, he said he don't know if auction would be a good idea because we paid 10,000 for it, and he don't wanna go to auction and get like 500 or 1,000 for it. So he feels, there's some other way to, sell that, so he doesn't sit in rock, but he don't know, putting it on the auction would be, we paid 10,000 for that.
Right.
What does that mean?
A plow,
That was all around the top number.
there's no plow. Someone bought these before on a whim for when snowfall. We can't use it, it's
Maybe it's
a,
still for somebody. George?
Unlimited money is the
And that wouldn't fit in one of like the new vehicles that the trucks that the town, I mean, the public works is getting? Or would it be too big or is it too
yeah.
big?
We had discussed this, we actually had brought it up to council, and we decided not to go that route. Because they had actually offered it to the town for like, I think, I want to say half price. And then we had decided that it just wasn't feasible to have that.
Is it built for a truck? Like a
Yeah,
Ford?
we had it on our brush truck, that's where it was on, but, the clearance was very low and, like some road.
Yeah, I know that.
Or the
that
manholes
fire-
are raised and it's, it wasn't.
There's no fire, that thing ever done.
Perfect, any more questions? Well, keep doing what you're doing, you guys are doing an awesome job and we appreciate it.
I'll let you know, thank you.
Just thank you.
All right, finance and administration.
We're working on the Tyler training.
Good job,
We had
Gary.
a Tyler consultant on at town hall for about 2 weeks now, 3 weeks. This is his third week here. and he'll be here for another about 3 more weeks. We already set up, we're getting the HR modules set up, and we worked on purchasing last week, and Esperanza already started getting them on accounts receivable. We're gonna be adding to Esperanza's duties because of the segregation of duties for our audit finding. So Esperanza would be our accounts receivable. She'll be the account, that's where the money comes in at. So she'll be getting trained in that. Phyllis will be the accounts payable, and I will do all the bank recs, so that way we're all splitting up all of those duties, and we can keep great, oh, that's my next item, financial reorganization. That way we can get into dig into that audit finding and try to see if we can eradicate that. Our budget, I spent over a week actually entering all the ledger accounts into from FY18 and FY19 into what our expanded trial balance. And it's taken me quite a while, but our new system's gonna be very detailed, and our current system is not detailed, so I wanna be able to have some actual dollar figures that we could plug into our new system so we could roll forward, including our budget. We can predict how much we're gonna spend, as well as where we're spending money and where we can save money. For instance, like if we're gonna come into an idea of paying the EMS person, in our budget, we've been always just boilerplating last year's and tacking on an extra 5%. And so in some departments, for instance mine, we kind of built up a huge budget reserve, not cash reserve, but a budget reserve. So we might be able to allocate, say, $10,000 or $15,000 from my department towards that EMS where it's really needed, because right now we don't need that. Our financial department is pretty stable, and we don't fluctuate much, unlike water or gas or EMS and fire. That fluctuates a lot based on emergencies. So if we can reallocate some resources to other departments that are more desperately needed, let's do that. So, but we can't predict it just yet until I'm done with this year's budget. See, addressing, I'm working on with the county to resolving some of the discrepancies between their database and our database. Recently, we had a lady from the census come in looking for an address, and we know exactly where the house is, but it's ambiguous whether it's on one street or the other, because it's a corner lot. So what I want to do is I want to establish the county's database as the official database. And for us to do that, I need to make sure our database jives with theirs, and it's not an easy task, but I'm beginning to work on that. The mayor and I met with representatives in Mexico Department of Cultural Affairs to see what restrictions we have on the Saw building renovations. And in fact, tomorrow we're meeting with Mark LaFrancois from the Forest Service, or no, Park Service.
NPS.
Yes, yeah, because he worked at Mount Vernon for 18 years.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so he's an expert in preservation, cultural preservation from the federal level. And so it goes down to the conversation we had today was the glass pane in the windows. The state recommended we do not replace the windows. And so, all right, we'll just replace the panes in the windows. But we can't, I thought we could just go to Guston's and buy the panes of windows. No. It's, the federal level requires us matching the same type of glass that was used back in 1937. So, and he said, well, he said he knows where.
Of that building.
Yeah, if he thinks if it's the style that he's envisioning, then it's pretty easy, it's readily available. But we're gonna meet tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to talk about that. Public Works stucco, ACO Bernauer actually talked with one of his friends who's a big-time stucco contractor in Albuquerque. And I guess this is guy's like the best of the best, and he picks and chooses jobs, and he only works on the highest end stuff. And the guy actually has a building pretty much identical to what we have at the Public Works. And so he said there's two options. We have to lap the building, which will require, because it's not CMUs, it's not cinder blocks. What it is, it's like the old clay brick. So he's gonna have to drill holes, and then they're gonna have to put anchor bolts in it to put the lath on, which is very expensive. Or there's this adhesive stuff that they can just spray on it, and anything will adhere to it, even stucco. And this guy used that adhesive at his building in the South Valley, or the North Valley, and he said his stuff looked great. So that's probably gonna be the cheapest option. I'm still waiting to hear back from and this guy won't be bidding on it because we're getting the scope of work from him, and you can't, the person who's providing the scope of work cannot bid on the project. So he's just gonna help us out, and then we can put it out to bid to see who can stucco the building with the scope of work that we are expecting from. Signs, I ordered 2 airport signs. to be in compliance with NMDOT, their directional sign just says airport that way. There's another sign that we've been promising for years, but I haven't done it yet, and I will do it, is actually once we get to the, maybe it was done, is our airport back there? Is it? Yeah, right there. Did we get a sign over there at the end of the road, just before the gate, to say?
I made a small one, it's not like what we talked about before.
Okay, are you still interested in getting a big sign there? I'll
It
pull it.
doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so we'll go and get another sign there, and something big, and then, and we'll go from there. Another sign that we're planning on making is over here by TNC Auto, right here, directing everybody to the civic complex over here. It's gonna be the police department, the court, the learning resource center, the library, and the Saw building. And they did P&M already did a mock-up, and it looks great, but we're just trying to figure out how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna mount it. And so that's what we're trying to address right now. And then finally, the safety inspections, or the safety classes. Just recently, I really want to ramp up the safety of our community and basically our employees. So the next safety class will be a facility inspection, and Daniel will be there. Even though he's already over on his hours, I think this is so important that this is more, we're all already met our basic hours that we need to meet for our insurance, but now we're in that space where let's just go ahead and learn as much as we can about safety and really ingrain the culture of safety into our town. Estante Valley Solid Waste used to be the worst in New Mexico in the municipal league, and now they're the best. And they made a huge complete turnaround in, like 10 years. It took them only 2 or 3 years to make the turnaround, and so I want Mount Airy to be on that list of the best in this area.
What about that sign that when you really come in from, what is it?
Oh, yes.
The-
Yeah, I took a picture of it and sent it to him, so. I think what we're gonna have to do with that is we're actually gonna have to take that down and rebuild the whole frame. I built that frame like 10 years ago, and I built it like a house, but it's not on a foundation, it's on the wall, so it just sheared right off that one pole. So I think what we'll have to do is rebuild another frame and support it a little bit more, and then remount it.
That was from that strong wind, huh?
Yeah, those really fast winds.
It almost seems like it needs like another pole on that side, you know, that won't happen.
Yeah, and I think also a foundation, a base, like kind of like at MPS, the rock base,
Yeah,
something like that. That would be awesome. I've always envisioned that. When I installed that, whatever, 10 years ago, I envisioned that, but the town didn't have money, and the Chamber of Commerce, which paid for that, didn't have the money.
I was thinking, I think we talked about this before, it'd be nice to like clear out that area in the middle, like in front of it, where people can park and like take pictures and
Yeah.
stuff. And just, welcome to Vegas.
I wish we could fucking marching with that whole end of town. I wish all those trees would be like, there's all, they come into town, all the trees are like dead and like, I wish it'd be kind of limbed up, you know, kind of be, I don't know.
And it's kind of a safety hazard, there's always deer there in the middle of the night. So that's where they all tend to hang out, so when you're booking into town, the deer can run out and.
You book it into town?
No, they get 35 by the sign.
Make sure you
Well,
come to
watch
the
Dennis.
seat.
Yes.
I think all of us go when we get there.
Yep.
I just turned into my house.
That's it, and I mentioned the judicial report, so.
One final thing, we have the spay and neuter clinic coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday, 2-day event. First day's already filled up, they're already filling up the second day. We had approved, I believe, like 1,600 last time, I think it was. So the invoice this time is 1,000, so that's within my range, I can get that, but I just want to get you guys' blessing on being able to pay that to them.
For the second day.
It's for, no, that's for both, yeah,
49 or
so.
Oh,
No, we had approved 1,600 last time in hopes of getting some money back, but this time it's
okay.
They'll be here and they're gonna be using the Public Works building. They're gonna clear out all their stuff. We're gonna have to move out for a day. And, yeah, but it's exciting. I think this is the first time we got to spay and neuter clinic in
Buy some pizza or something.
No, you got more?
Pizza party.
Well, I don't remember with the police one time, we used to, Spain or clinic right there at the Public Works Department. It's been, God, it's been years ago. You sent us 23, so maybe 21 years ago. Something like that. It's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a while. We used to, it was a long time ago.
So the first one was Century. Put it that way.
Ernie,
Yeah.
Ernie, that's when Lionel worked then.
Is that what he did?
Before he retired.
Perfect. Any other questions?
Are they gonna, microchip them?
I don't think they might be, no.
It's a spray and neuter.
Just spay and neuter, yeah.
And shots if they.
And shots, if they need, yes. Yes.
Because when I get mine, it was $6.
Yeah, no, I'm-
We might have Steve go out there and do registrations.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
There are some that are out of town, from the county and stuff, I mean, we can do that, so. Anything we can do to bring people to Mount Air. Perfect, any other questions for financial? Okay, public input, anyone have anything to say?
I don't need to be a nag, but if we're gonna have all this going on, are we gonna be doing this road over here
Which is that one?
by the police station, Roosevelt,
Do the road as in,
repaving it, smoothing it out?
oh, we can't
making
repave it.
it
Oh, you guys asked the last time. Okay, so, you guys were not here, so let's
Right.
get you in the loop. That's why we bought the air pressure, air thing, was to wash off the paint. There's no way that we can redo the road before the fourth. There's absolutely no way. Not even in the last, since the last meeting. So,
Are there plans to redo the road?
I think our focus would probably be the roads that don't have cement first, or, roads first, like the dirt roads. But I could be wrong. I don't know. That would be a council decision at a later date.
All the one up to the parking.
Okay, we'll make sure to bring that again.
Every meeting.
It is a
Until it's
main
done.
road, I mean, you know.
They did do the potholes, right? Yeah,
I think we have the one from Field all the way up to.
you guys are obsessed with this road, what's up with that?
Roosevelt.
You know,
That's the
we're
one
there
you guys
every
do?
day.
Every day.
No, we got the power washer to wash off some of that paint from the Sunflower Festival. And yeah, but unfortunately, there's no way that we can top the road.
Okay, we'll pick it up again.
And, they always bring up the post office. Can the government do anything there, being that it's their government property? We can't do out in the street, but the parking lot itself.
Maybe we do that every couple of years, I think. They haven't done it in a while.
I know honestly, the road all the way up to the park, Roosevelt, that one really needs to be done. It's been years and years for that. I remember when Matt Money was alive, she's been dead 10 years and that was one of her wishes,
And she's still waiting.
Yeah, and now she's probably in heaven looking down saying, what happened to my road?
Tell her that she's got two friends who will alive.
And if we do pave all of Roosevelt, that would give us a easy directional all the way to the park.
Yeah.
We can tell people to turn that way.
That's a good thing.
Because right now, it's turn left and right, go
Tomorrow's our
across, turn left.
Just so you know, it is very expensive. So that's.
How many years?
Just letting you know.
Life is getting more
At
expensive.
least chips seal. Put some culverts under a few and chips seal.
Maybe we can get a deal like the one over there, when they're passing through.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice, sold. All right, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I make a motion to go to executive session.
I'll second it.
I have a motion to go into executive by Richard, a second by Ernie, roll call Richard.
Four.
Anita? Anita? Ernie? Four. All right, as per motion, a roll call vote pursuant to New Mexico State Statute 10-15-1. The following matters will be discussed in closed session, limited personnel matters regarding the hiring of a police officer.
Good luck, you're in a county, so.